Hello everybody, here is Thomas once again. I would like to talk on a subject which is mostly mentioned as a triumph of Quran over other religious books. Its superior language and its elegant style of writings. Muslim present it as a miracle of Quran and then challenge non-Muslim that if they think it's not from God, then bring a surah like it or a chapter like it. Now if you read the Quran, even Quran mentioned this in a couple of places. I will talk today first on this subject, and then hopefully I will go in further details in some of the other claims of Muslims about Quran and its so-called miracles. But today I will focus on the challenge of the Quran. Let's see first the challenge of the Quran from the Quran, what the Quran says about it. And in chapter 2 verse 23, and if ye are in doubt as to what we have revealed from time to time to our servant, then produce a surah like it, and call your witnesses or helpers if there are any besides God, if your doubts are true. And again there's a similar, almost similar verse in chapter 10 verse 38, which says, or do they say he has forged it? Say, then bring a chapter like this and invite whom you can besides Allah if you are truthful. Or in the following verse, which is from chapter 11 verse 13, or do they say he has forged it? Say, then bring 10 forged chapters like it and call upon whom you can besides Allah if you are truthful. Now you see in one verse you have a challenge to bring one chapter, but in another Quranic challenge, another verse for this Quranic challenge, Quran is asking people to bring 10 chapters like it. I don't know why this conflict is there, for what reason. Now as an independent observer, I can ask certainly Muslim first of all to tell me how would you know that if someone actually met this challenge, or what is the criteria to judge this challenge? Here what we are watching, an unfair condition is put in front of humans from so-called God to meet one of his challenge. Why was this challenge was given in first place, and what was the reason for this? I think you will hear from Muslims that because Arabs in general were great poets and they loved their poetry, so Quran was sent down to Muhammad to tell these arrogant Arabs that this so-called beautiful poetry of Quran is better, and no one can produce anything like it. It was presented as a sign of the truth from Muhammad. Again, there are some problems with this. Now from hadith we know that Muhammad never liked poets very much. He even ordered to kill a couple of poets. For example, there was one case of Ka'b bin Ashraf because he offended Muhammad with his poetry. There are a couple of hadiths. I read one of the hadiths. It's from Sahih Bukhari volume 4 book 52 number 271, narrated by Jabir. The Prophet says, who is ready to kill Ka'b bin Ashraf, the Jew? Muhammad bin Masallama replied, do you like me to kill him? The Prophet replied in the affirmative. Muhammad bin Masallama said, then allow me to say what I like. The Prophet replied, I do allow you. Now obviously this is just one hadith, and there are other hadiths as well from Sahih Bukhari in which Muhammad was allowing Muhammad bin Masallama to lie in order to get Ka'b bin Ashraf. Now problem is that on one side we have supposedly a challenge of Quran to Arab poets to bring something like it, and on the other side Allah and Muhammad actually never liked poetry or poets very much. We can see from the Quran, and I quote verse 36, chapter 36 verse 69, and we have not taught him Muhammad poetry, nor is it meet for him. This is not else than a reminder and a lecture making plain. Or in chapter 21 verse 5, nay, they say these are medals of dreams, nay, he forged it, nay, he is but a poet. Let him then bring us a sign like who the ones that were sent to prophets of old. So with all these conflicting things, you have reports from Sahih Hadith that Muhammad did not like poetry, and Allah is also saying Muhammad was not a poet, or the Quran is not a poetry. then what is the purpose of this challenge to Arab poets whatsoever in first place? What was the reason to say Quran is not a poetry, but then ask Arab poets to bring something like it? And we know this challenge was meant to Arab poets because the only people who could match this challenge were those great Arab poets. Very interesting thing is noted in the Quran by some people that Quran is asking to bring something like it, as the author thought it's impossible that someone can ever bring something like it. I mean, no human, jinn, genies, etc., no one. But when you study Quran carefully, you notice that this Quranic challenge was issued rather thoughtlessly. Is Quran a unique book, and is there any other book like it? You will probably hear from Muslim friends that no, there is no book like it. Hence, here is a problem for them. In Quran, if the Quran is a unique book as you claim it is, then what is the meaning of the following verses? Now, in chapter 28, verses 48 to 49, it says, and I read, "But now when the truth has come to them from ourselves, they say, why are not signs sent to him, like those which were sent to Moses? Do they not then reject the signs which were formerly sent to Moses? They say, two kinds of sorcery, each assisting the other. And they say, for us, we reject all such things. Say, then bring ye a book from God, which is better guide than either of them, that I may follow it, if ye are truthful." Now in these two verses, Allah is challenging people of Arabia that although it's true that we did not give Muhammad any signs like we gave to Moses, for example, but this Quran is like a sign, and it's exactly like Torah, the book of Moses. And if you think it's wrong, it's a wrong statement, then bring a better book from God which is better than either one of these books, yani meaning better than the Quran and Torah. And I repeat, better than Quran and Torah. The challenge of Quran is already met, as Allah and Muhammad acknowledge that there is a book, namely Torah, which is like Quran. So if today Jews present Torah to Muslims, then will you accept that Quranic challenge is met long ago, even before it was issued? By the way, if it's not enough, then there are countless verses which were created, and still people are writing these verses and chapters. The challenge of Quran is long met, and some of these chapters can be seen on websites like www.suralikeit.com. This is one word, www.suralikeit.com. And the one whole Quran being published by some Christian missionaries, and who call it the True Furqan. Now both links can be seen on the video description page to have a look at, and please before you judge them, please do read them. Thank you very much for the time being, and thank you very much for listening, and peace be with you all.